Hey. In the previous session, we make the connection to the database. We build the database, we make the connection to database. But now we are actually ready to build the script. Okay. Exit. All right, I have here my Cloud MD file, which I defined before. Now in this Cloud MD file, I just make that we're gonna create the central location for delete data from multiple databases. This actually can support the MySQL and Oracle. That for the future let's also do the Oracle. Let's add the Oracle DNS name, DB schema table, where condition, retention date, groups, slave, enable, disabled, delete, limit. Okay, the main script will be connecting to this database, pull the list of each configuration cleanup based on the group configuration, which will be passed as a parameter, select list of the tables to clean up which will define by the group value, and then create delete statement, which means it's gonna create that delete from statement, and then iterate, make the connection to database, and then iterate through the data until everything is deleted. Okay. Let's set up this Cloud. Okay. Okay, I have to authenticate my account. Okay. I define the project scope, which is building a cleanup script. Okay. Configuration table will be in dev support. Actually, create a config file.cfg where all parameters will be defined as this is development environment, and we will move this to QA. Okay, that the first let's focus on creating the script. Once we have a script, we have definition, we can create the sample, or actually let's also create some kind of sample data. In step 1, let's create sample data in DevOps database, create table TRX with columns ID, TRX, date, some kind of key, comma, value, insert like 300 records which are spread since last year January, that we have sample data to delete. Create insert SQL file which can be some function which will generate data set. Okay. Ask questions which required clarification. Okay, I'm using the Sonnet for this exercise, and let's see how this is gonna work out. Okay, table schema. For the TRX table, what data type should I use? The key value should be, should ID be an auto-link from? Okay, this is good enough. This is just the sample data. Yes. Data range January 2012 to now, about 13 months of data, 300 spread across this period. Yes. Config parameters, database connection, login path, host, port, user. Actually, we're gonna use only login path. The database DB name will be different. Can be different between environments, like here is dev support in QA and production will be support. Next approach, generate SQL files, only insert SQL and schema SQL for manual execution. Okay, that we can put use login path dev cloud to connect to server and execute SQL. This way we are building and we allowing Cloud to make the connection and create this table for us. This way, okay, we don't have to execute, we're gonna have it. That create those SQL files that we can reload data later on. Have separate files for dev app and dev support DB. Okay, let's submit the answer. Okay, cleanup config. We have MySQL login path dev cloud database, config database dev support, and config table C support cleanup config. Perfect. This way we have a full control over the configuration for tomorrow if we're gonna change the table or we're gonna change database. Definitely we're gonna change the database. The table will stay the same, but whatever reason you want to change the table, you have that option. Okay, create dev app, use dev app, create a table, key value, okay. The engine is InnoDB, correct. And as we're gonna doing this exercises with the different length of the retention, we can always reload this data set using that script. Okay, the cleanup config, config ID, which is auto incremental. Okay, login path, db schema table, where condition, retention days, cleanup group, slave enabled, disabled. Delete limit, create add, updated last. Okay, and we're missing the Oracle TNS. And this way we can utilize this also for Oracle database as a script, that we're gonna have one configuration as a master. We're gonna focus right now on the MySQL database cleanup, but future we can expand this to Oracle, because we can just pass the Oracle TNS and then go through the SQL Plus connection and then log in through to Oracle database and delete the data from Oracle database. Okay, Oracle TNS was missing, and slave enabled, disabled. Okay, 1 0 1 enabled, 0 disabled. Actually, no. Let's make this different name. Binlog on off. Just to binlog on off column and value 1 0. Okay, if it's set to 0, then process will execute delete with first set SQL binlog equals 0, and then therefore delete in this same session that delete will not be recorded in binlog. Again, this is some kind of special case situation where we have to do something like that. Okay, ID, login path, DB table name. Okay, perfect. Now we have a Oracle TNS name, DB schema, table name, where condition, retention days, cleanup group, binlog on off, delete limit, create add, updated add, last run add. Okay. Yes. And we see here the files are created. We have a dev SQL insert, we have a schema insert, and dev support insert, dev support schema. Okay, Okay, now we prepare those files, and now you want to execute the insert of this database and create. Okay, yes. Okay, dev support insert. Okay, key configuration. Now, if we're gonna go right now to the database, let's see our database. Perfect, we have a database, and here we have a two entry. Both are using the dev cloud as a login path, DB schema, and TRX. Location. And here we have a daily retention, like 300 days. Here is some retention, 60 days aggregation cleanup. Okay, bin log on off. Now, one condition is in MDS we cannot actually do the bin log on off. That this always has to be enabled. Okay, and for example, what we have here, the TRX date, core date, interval, retention dates. Okay, that looks correct. Only I think what we missed here is on off. Actually, for this rule, that it's active or not active. And where is the group? Config ID, this is auto incremental. Okay, that okay, that we're missing the two columns. Group ID, which allow us to grouping the process, those commands, and enabled status as 1 active statement to delete, 0 inactive. Used to column group ID used to select in one. Actually, I think what I missed is to, okay, I should ask him to truncate this table and recreate the table. That means update the primary create table file with the new columns, and then recreate and then reinsert. Okay, no. Okay, keep only one record per table for delete. That the ID 1 is okay to keep, ID 2 delete. Okay, create additional 2 sample table like P orders and P travels with some sample data. One of the columns will include date, and set some data and add those tables to clean up table. Okay, our session with the cloud is active for 5 hours, where within that time period we have X amount of the tokens to use. If we're gonna go beyond those tokens, we have to wait for another couple hours till the session will where we can continue. Okay, that now I have just the pro account, and I'm using this with the pro account, that I have limitations. Okay, I'm accepting, like you can see that every time when Cloud is trying to make some changes, I'm accepting. I can go ahead and do to allow him make the changes within this session, but let's say for the purpose of this exercise, I want to just validate what data he's changing. Okay, recreate dev schema. Okay, we have a bin log on off. Okay, we have a group ID, which is good. And where is that enabled, disabled? And status, okay. That we have the we have what we ask for. Okay, now we can process with the okay, we completed, and now, for example, let's see our usage. Okay, that within this session so far we created tables, and we took like 11% of the use, and we have another 3 hours to run this session. Okay, now let's see our data. Okay, now we have 3 tables: TRX, order, and traverse, and we have 300, 180, 90 days cleanup group. Okay, daily cleanup. That now, if this name, the goal is that if this name is the same, then we'll use this same tables when the process will run and select this same records to process. Okay, now delete limit is 1500, that with every run. This has to be bin log on, and status, those are active status. Good. And now let's refresh. Okay, that so far looks like we create. Okay, this is the dev support. Okay, we have orders. Okay, we have data in orders, travels, and TRX. From dev app TRX where TRX date. Okay, there is no data for 1000 days. Okay, we have a data for 300 days. Okay, and we have the 66 records. Okay. All right, and okay, the retention is 300, 180, 90. All right, that now let's build the script that we have a database prepared. Now let's go and build the script. Right, that create MD file related the support table configuration. Which reference? Okay, that I want to just have that notes that if tomorrow I'm gonna come back to this script and continue working on that script, then we have some kind of notes related to that. Okay. Okay, as we're waiting for this MD file to be created, okay, actually it's done. Okay, and let's see how this is. Okay, that we have an overview, we have a create statement, the information about the primary key, connection, the tables description. That it's pretty good detail information for you as a user, for you as a support person to pretty much use this and learn about this particular script. Okay. Now let's see how much cost us this. Okay, we have a 16, that means it was 11, that is 5% of the current session was used to just creating that MD file. Okay, that now create script which will be running in cron. Okay, the script will be running, of course, in the cron tab, which will connect to this DB and pull list of tables to delete. We can specify as parameter the group ID value, then select only that records with matching group ID. If this is not defined, then select all records. Now script will support MySQL and Oracle DB. Right now focus on MySQL DB, that if no parameter group ID is defined. Select all records where login path is not null. Okay, this way we have a option to select everything, and then we're gonna do one by one, or we can select the specific group, run that process, and then we can run another process for another. This way you can utilize this to run multiple delete processes of the different set of the tables and maybe even different databases at approximately the same time. What time you're gonna run this, that will be triggered by the cron tab when you're running this script. Okay, we see the Cloud use the Python. I didn't specify this clearly if I want to have a Bash or Python. I think in my preferences I will probably use the Bash script, because the most of my scripts which we build it up are based on the Bash. The Python, I have to make sure I have the Python version across environment the same. Okay, group ID 1, but okay. Yeah, in the previous version the group ID was like the daily, and right now it changed actually to 1, which I will, yeah, that's actually I preferring this way. I have a 1 2 3 4 instead just the naming convention. And now the command, the Python MySQL clean API group ID 1 dry run. Okay, this way expectation is it's gonna select those tables, select the list of the tables, select the data, and give us the information if and what will be deleted. Okay, and now login path select. Okay, that this looks like it's from the script. Okay, update cleanup. No, but actually question is why we are updating bin log on off. Let's see our data. Okay, we mark here as off, but I don't want to have off. That actually the process should not upgrade the data here in the table. That it's condition. This one I want to have 1 because the bin log is on, and we're running this in MDS. In MDS, we actually cannot execute the set SQL bin log off. Okay, now we're doing the select okay, in MDS we cannot change SQL log bin value that I changed this values in table to 1 as for this DB. Bin log on off has to be 1. Do not okay, do not change this value when you're running the cleanup script. Only you can updated add column. Actually you can no, sorry, I didn't share that part. Only you can update last run at date. Okay, you see actually, okay, I did the changes to the table values and then comment this out in the Cloud. Cloud identified that, okay, yeah, he did update and now he need to make another changes and provided the command. But now I actually did this update. Okay, but here is the problem. Okay, now that this logic actually it's good because that logic is exactly what I need. But I don't understand why he want to remove. Keep this logic as is needed for some cases. If bin log on off is 0, then we have to set SQL log bin equals 0. If is 1, then we do not changing this parameter. But when you run last time, I saw you was trying to update this value for one of the record, which I set up to 1. Okay, that do not update config table when we running cleanup. Only update the last run at once it is completed. I think looks like okay, keep the binlog logic as is. Okay, the cloud select from okay, binary logic is keep binlog equal of equal 0, set SQL binlog 0. If binlog is 1, don't set it. Script only update last running script, okay, and script does not update binlog. Okay, good. Alright, now perform test run with dry run. Actually, do we want him to perform this dry test, or let's us do the test? Okay. Python 3 MySQL. Let's say minus help. Okay, perfect. The minus h command it's working, and we see the group ID and the dry run. Okay. Group ID 1 and dry run. Okay, but now it complained that we cannot login pod dev cloud. Alright, but I am able to make the connection. That why the script failed. Okay, it's using the MySQL. Okay, looks like there is some mismatch because the MySQL login path, okay, I'm using the MySQL as such and I am able to log in, but when we use the MySQL command, that now we are not able to log in, which is a little bit weird. Okay, I'm using this in the multiple server MySQL login path, and usually I don't have any trouble utilizing that functionality, and it's working. Now, when you're creating the MySQL login path, it's creating the file in your actually in your home folder. There should be the MySQL login path. I don't remember exactly the name, but it should be MySQL login hided file which have that information, and here seems like that information is not here. Okay, let's try to recreate that. No, MySQL login CNF. Okay, yeah, we have actually the MySQL login CNF. Okay, what seems like it's empty. Okay, let's create this one more time. I'm gonna just make this as a one line. Okay, there was the my database parameter mydb. Okay, yeah, that is not known. Okay, password. No, MySQL. Okay, now I'm connected. And I have a two database available. Okay, now think it's good. just create another script, just the sh script, which allow me to just run that script instead the typing this group ID equal 1 and dry run. Okay, perfect. Delete statement, it's correct, skipping actual delete. That configuration it's 3, successful 3, failed 0, okay. That we have a delete from dev app trx where trx date current day interval 300 days limit 1000, good. Now retention is 180 days for another table orders, and here we have interval minus 180 days, good, and limit 500. And the third table is 90 days, and we have 90 days limit 700. Perfect. That the data, everything seems okay. Now let's play around a little bit with the configuration before we're gonna get this running. That now I'm gonna change this to group ID 2, and this also I'm gonna change this to group ID 2. Okay, this way, right, when I'm gonna run with the group ID 1, I should have just one record, and then 2 I'm gonna have for another. And let's say limit deletion. Okay, 1000 is the large. I'm gonna just put 10. I want to see that iterations, that it's gonna delete 10, 10, 10, 10. Okay, later on when we're gonna have a large number, we can just keep increasing this record how to be good. Okay, or I can make this, for example, 20 records, right? And this one 15, right? I'm just putting the low. Okay, just DB, this guy crash. Okay, that's 300. Okay, then not changing group DBID 1, 2, 2. Okay, let's save it. Then I'm gonna put 15 and 20. Okay, perfect. Now let's go back to our script, and let's run this with the script. And what we have here now, one, we had 2 tables right now set, and we know we have the 3 tables. That now this logic is working fine. That this way we validate if that logic of the group selection it's working. Yes, it's working. We have a 300 day and limit 10. Okay, we change the limit of the rotation, it changed, it's good. All right, then now let's run the script. All right, perfect. We have data deleted, no more rows to delete. Okay, now let's go to our trx date. From dev app trx order by trx date ascending. Okay, and now here we have a March 2025, right? We have a March, 25, March 25, 28, 29, that we had some data deleted. Okay. Our second table it was P orders. And P orders order date. Okay, and we have data for July, and our last table is P travel. And created date. Right, create date order, yes. And here we have a data for January. Okay, that we mark those. Now let's little bit decrease this value. That let's say here we're gonna put 290, and here we put 170. Okay, 90 days it's here. We can have, let's say, 200 days. Okay, that we make the changes to our config table. Now we decrease those two, that now when we run the script we should see decrease in the value. And this guy also we should have also some change, because we're using right now 200 days as a limit. In the table is almost like 365 as a 1 year data. Okay, we committed here. But now we can run this. Okay, if we're gonna run with the group 1, perfect. You see, we have the 6 records deleted here and 7 records deleted here. That now the process delete data, and we can check our data set. We have a 4.3 and we have a 3.25, that we had the change, that the records were deleted, that the process is working as expected. Now let's run the another. Okay, here we have a 801, and here we have a 722 data are deleted, and here we have a still January 3rd. We didn't run this. Okay, now if we're gonna run this for group ID 3, okay, group ID 2. Actually, okay, I run this here with the group ID 3. We don't have configuration, and it is correct. No cleanup configuration found matching criteria. right? We got the warning and exit. That's actually good. And now we're using 2, and we see the data are keeping deleting, and we have a looks like here is the total of the deleted record. That 193 records were deleted here. That let's go to our database, and in the database we can see that now we have a 701. We were at 01 in January. Now we have a 7, that we deleted this number of data. That procedure is working fine, the script is simple, script is working, and it's doing exactly the job as is expected. That now we can take this script, we can put the script in the QA, configure it, and run this. Okay. Now in info script, in info file, I just add a sample of the host file for the reference, host name. Okay, actually let's put this here, create login path. Okay, sample. Okay, and here you have to you have to make the changes. Here is the sample. Actually, I'm gonna make login path, user, the password, discrete your login path sample. Here is the dev cloud, and you have a config database dev support in the dev support schema. You have a data, the database. You have a sample of insert, which like I show you can adjust this. Then you have a dev app sample to generate, and then insert this database. Okay. And primary script is MySQL cleanup py, which it's selecting those records, generate the data, and and provide and selecting the data from configuration, going through each defined table, delete the data as we expecting to delete. Start MySQL cleanup, I just put here as a Python MySQL and the group ID. You can adjust this script, or we can even here, here we actually have even the Python 3 defined, that actually we should be able to execute this script directly without calling the Python 3 here. Okay, exactly that, because we defined here the shell what we want to use to execute this script, that we are able to execute this script. Okay. the root is on by the script. Sounds like the session which I had before open, I was running this as a root accidentally. Okay, that okay, we complete everything here. I think one thing maybe which is good. Where is that empty file? In config table reference. Okay, just give commands to create dev support schema, insert data and dev app, and to save this to info. Okay, I'm just creating I'm just adding the info.txt file with the setup commands that if you're gonna pull this repository, then you have a full version, full set. Okay, and right, if you feel that this was useful and this script can help you out, please subscribe below to this channel. I will be working here on this type of script, something simple, something which we need to have on the day-to-day life as a support user. Supporting the high availability environment, building the networks, servers, and those tools I'm using on the day-to-day basis. Okay. We have a infos file which you have a reference to how to create this environment as a sample for you to test and exercise. Thank you very much for watching, and post the comments if you feel this is helpful for you. Thank you.